Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, back with my DC Universe Classics Wave 8 Figure 4 Vigilante. Now, when I first heard they were making a Vigilante figure, I was excited, because I thought we were getting the classic motorcycle-riding cowboy that was one of the original DC comic characters. But I was wrong. We got this, who is actually the second Vigilante. Now, there's a reason I thought we would never get this figure, and that's because he's such a dark, violent, brooding character. This is the first, supposedly, according to the back of the box. His name is Adrian Chase. He was a DA, district attorney, that basically got sick and fed up with the way the system treated criminals. He thought it was much too lenient, much too light as far as sentencing. And then him and his family were killed in a bombing accident, and he was dead for 6 minutes. When they revived him, he considered himself to be a completely new person and took up the mantle of the Vigilante. Now, early on in this series, for about the first 7 issues or so, he showed a little more compassion for human life. He didn't want to kill, he used non-lethal weapons, and then around issue 7 or 8, I can't remember, I haven't read those books in forever, he just snaps. And he lets a cop die because he thinks that his actions directly lead to this and he deserves it. But he feels really like, he goes on, he starts killing more people, he starts feeling really guilty, and eventually he's like, I can't do it anymore, I'm not Vigilante. And he becomes a judge, thinking it'll be more satisfying. Unbeknownst to him, one of his friends took up the mantle of Vigilante, and he was nuts. He would kill cops, he would kill petty thieves, he would kill anyone. So Adrian Chase actually goes back and kills him, unbeknownst that it's his friend. When he pulls out the mask, he feels even more guilty. He's depressed. Then his bailiff from the courtroom actually takes up the mantle of Vigilante and gets killed by a villain called Peacemaker. Adrian snaps. He goes back, he gets his costume, and he goes to get Peacemaker, and he's beaten and unmasked on live television. Of course, now he can't go back to his normal life. Now he has to be Vigilante. He eventually, I think he does kill Peacemaker. I haven't read those books in quite a while. And eventually the character ends up killing himself because he can't deal with the guilt of all the horrible things he's done in his life. He even appeared as a character in Purgatory, helping Hal Jordan's spirit escape during I don't remember the name of that book, but he was one of the heroes in Purgatory. Now, this is a great character. He has 2 modern updates. Well, the old ones weren't really all that old, but there was a girl who took up the mantle, and she worked with Deathstroke the Terminator. And there's a new one, and he's appeared in Gotham Underground. He's appeared in Nightwing. I think he has his current mini going. I haven't read it, but he's supposedly a kid that saw a murder and created a split personality known as the Vigilante, which happens to look just like this guy. So, not very interested in his new one. But this guy was a great character, really dark, that's why I never thought we'd see one. But on to the figure. He comes with his rifle, a revolver in his pouch, and an Uzi. You're also going to notice in the box, there's a lot of targets, much like Citizen Steel had stars in his. Okay, pan back out. Also, the goggles on his face are a translucent plastic, so you can see his eyes beyond them. Onto the back of the box, and this wave, of course, was Commander Steel, Dr. Fate, Mr. Terrific, Hawk Girl, Gentleman Ghost, Parademon, and himself. Now, of course, the biography doesn't tell you anything I haven't already told you. First appearance is Adrian Teen Titan, the New Teen Titans 23, and appearance is Vigilante Teen Titans Annual Number 2. Real name Adrian Chase, occupation former district attorney, base of operations New York City. Special abilities, expert in knife combat, diverse fighting style, superb marksman, infrared goggles allow him to see in the dark, single-minded, ruthless desire for justice. So a very interesting character. So, overall, really looking forward to him. Let's pull him out of the box. Okay, and here he is out of the box. Now, I've got to admit, one of the things that I was really looking forward to was how he would hold the weapons. And unfortunately, he doesn't hold them that well. Now, if you look, the Uzi is in his hand alright, but it's very loose. When you actually take it out, there's a rubber band securing it to this hand, and I highly recommend that anyone that picks up this figure leaves that be. Because if you leave the rubber band on, the Uzi is going to stay great. But without it, it's really, really loose. As you can see there. I'll leave that over here. Another issue I had, as you can see right here with the handgun, or the revolver, he's pointing it off to the side. He really needs to be pointing it the way he's holding it more towards this way, which you can do, but it's really loose as well. It'll stay better than the Uzi, but still, it's a little too loose for my taste. The detail on this is really nice. It's got a blue handle, a lot of nice detail. You can see the chamber, everything on there. So the weapon detail is nice, also on the Uzi. See all the detail on that? Okay, now, I have his rifle strapped on his back, which is just a sling. You can slide it over his head and off his arm. There's the detail on the rifle. Mine came a little warped in the pack, but nothing horrible. Nothing a little hot water won't fix. Yeah, so of course, his hand, this is the only hand that has his finger out to go in the trigger guard. So you just pop that through, pop it in. Gives you a little difficulty sometimes. And there you go. He looks best holding his rifle, which is unfortunate because I really wanted him holding both the handguns with his rifle strapped on the back. But overall, it's still a pretty nice figure. Pull his rifle out real quick. You'll notice his holster down by his side. Now, unfortunately, the DC Universe Classics usually doesn't do a good job on holsters. Captain Cold's wasn't very good. Killer Moth's was alright. I forget who else had one. Please don't post a comment telling me. By the time this video is up, I will have looked at my collection and remembered. Of course, his handgun goes in here. Pop the holster closed, and boom. Now, I'll give it this. It probably works better than any other holster in the series. But here's my one complaint. The revolver has a place to be stored. The rifle has a strap. Why doesn't the Uzi have a holster? Or somewhere it can be stored? Because that's really disappointing. I really would have liked to have him be able to store all his weapons on him. But, unfortunately not. Okay, so I'm going to get a zoom in on those goggles. You can see his eye. You can almost make out his eyes beyond the clear red plastic. Okay, but onto the figure overall. His belt is really nicely detailed. You see he's got some nunchucks or something on the back there. Other than that, this is a great addition to the DC Universe Classics line that anyone should consider making a part of their collection. Now, he does need some polishing off. The guns and the way he holds the guns could have been touched up. But, like I've said, he's still a great figure, well worth the price of $10. Here's the right leg of Giganta. And this is JTrain997. Once again, thanks to everyone who rates, watches, and comments. And I'll see you soon, YouTube.